Have you ever noticed how the first hour of your morning can shape the entire day? For many people over 60, what you do or don't do when you wake up quietly determines whether your body is getting stronger or slipping into decline. And here's the surprising part. It's not just about feeling energetic or productive. It's about protecting your muscles, the very foundation of your independence, balance, and vitality. Doctors have a word for age-related muscle loss: sarcopenia. It sounds technical, but what it really means is this: your muscles begin to shrink if you don't care for them. And it's not just your arms or legs at risk. Research shows that low muscle mass is directly tied to poor blood sugar control, a weaker immune system, and even faster cognitive decline. In fact, one large study found that older adults with less muscle had higher rates of depression and memory loss. Imagine that. Your muscles are not just for movement, they're also protecting your mind and your future. But here's the encouraging news: you are not powerless. The real danger isn't age itself. It's the small, repeated mistakes we often make in the morning without even realizing it. Maybe you skip breakfast, sit too long before moving, or reach for coffee instead of water. These little choices may seem harmless, but over time, they can accelerate muscle loss. The good news? Every single one of these mistakes can be fixed. And your body, yes, even after 60, is still remarkably responsive to change. That's why, in this video, we're going to uncover the 5 most common morning habits that silently sabotage your muscle health. And I'll give you practical, science-backed tools to turn them into your advantage, starting tomorrow morning. The very first habit that silently harms muscle health after 60 is this: skipping a protein-rich breakfast. You might think it doesn't matter much. My neighbor Harold, age 72, thought the same. Every morning he would sip on coffee, read the newspaper, and only after 3 hours finally sit down for a meal. He believed he was saving calories. But what he didn't realize was that his body had already slipped into a catabolic state, a condition where the body begins breaking down muscle for energy instead of building and preserving it. And after 60, this cost is far greater. A 2016 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed 25 to 30 grams of protein within 1 to 2 hours of waking maintained significantly more muscle mass than those who delayed. Scientists call this the muscleful effect. Think of your muscles like a sponge after a long night of fasting. In that first hour, they're primed to soak up amino acids, the building blocks of muscle. But if you miss the moment, the sponge dries out and the benefits fade quickly. Protein isn't just about looking strong. It stabilizes blood sugar, supports your immune system, and even provides backup fuel for your brain during stress. That's why skipping protein at breakfast often leaves you not only weaker, but also hungrier, more tired, and foggier by mid-morning. So what's the solution? Within the first 60 minutes after waking, aim for 30 to 40 grams of high-quality protein. That could mean scrambled eggs with spinach, Greek yogurt with chia seeds, or a protein smoothie made with whey or pea protein. If you're plant-based, lentils or quinoa are great choices. And here's a bonus tip. Pair your protein with a few minutes of light movement, simple stretches, resistance band exercises, or even wall push-ups. This combination of amino acids plus gentle activity sends a powerful message to your body. Protect this muscle. Rebuild. Stay strong. Now, I'm not saying intermittent fasting is bad. It has its place. But once you're past 60, timing becomes critical. Delay too long, and you're not just fasting, you're sacrificing muscle. And muscle, more than anything, is your independence, your balance, and your strength for the years ahead. The second habit that silently eats away at your strength after 60 is this: delaying movement in the morning. Many seniors start their day slowly, sitting with a cup of coffee, reading the news, or just easing into the morning. And while that may feel relaxing, metabolically, it's the exact opposite of what your muscles are begging for. Here's why. Every morning, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Now, that might sound negative, but in this context, it's actually good. It's your body's natural alarm clock, priming you to move. If you ignore that signal and stay sedentary, your muscles don't get the message to stay strong. Instead, they quietly shift toward breakdown. Think about my friend Margaret, 68 years old. For years, she would spend her mornings lingering at the kitchen table, scrolling her phone before doing anything active. She thought saving her energy for later workouts was smarter. But after a while, she noticed her legs felt weaker, and even climbing stairs became harder. When she finally added just a short walk and some light stretches within her first hour awake, she felt a remarkable change, not just in her muscles, but in her energy and mood for the entire day. Science backs this up. A 2021 study in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle found that older adults who performed light movement before breakfast improved insulin sensitivity, boosted muscle regeneration, and lowered inflammation. And we're not talking about gym-level workouts. Even 10 to 20 minutes of low-intensity activity can switch on a powerful gene called PGC1 alpha, which supports mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells that drive repair and fat metabolism. So here's the simple tool. Within 30 to 45 minutes of waking, give your body 5 to 15 minutes of gentle movement. That could be a brisk walk around the block, a few yoga poses, calf raises in the kitchen, or wall push-ups. The goal isn't to exhaust yourself. It's to activate your muscles and tell them, stay alive, stay functional, stay strong. And here's the bonus. When you eat later in the day or do more exercise, your body will respond more efficiently, building and preserving more muscle from the same effort. So the question is, tomorrow morning, will you sit and let your muscles fade? Or will you give them the wake-up call they're waiting for? The third habit that quietly sabotages your muscle health after 60 is neglecting hydration in the morning. Think about it. You've just spent 7 or 8 hours asleep, breathing, sweating, and losing fluids without even realizing it. By the time you wake up, your body is already in a state of mild dehydration, even if you don't feel thirsty. And that small gap matters more than most people realize. Take Robert, a 74-year-old retired teacher I once spoke with. Every morning, he would pour himself a large mug of coffee and sip it slowly while reading. Water never crossed his mind until later in the day. Over time, he began noticing that his legs felt stiffer in the mornings. His balance wasn't as steady, and he tired out quickly on his morning walks. What he didn't connect was that his body was running dry, like trying to run an engine with too little oil. Here's what the science shows. Even a 1 to 2% drop in hydration can reduce endurance, impair balance, and raise the risk of falls in older adults. It also slows down muscle recovery and protein synthesis, which means your body struggles to repair muscle after activity. Think of your muscles like a sponge. When they're well hydrated, they're flexible, responsive, and ready to work. But when they're dry, they become stiff, less coordinated, and more prone to damage. And here's something important. Coffee or tea doesn't count as proper hydration, especially if that's your first and only drink. While they're not as dehydrating as once thought, they don't replace the water and electrolytes your body desperately needs after a night of fasting. So here's a simple tool you can start tomorrow. Within 15 to 30 minutes of waking, drink 12 to 16 ounces of water. That's about 350 to 500 milliliters. For even better results, add a small pinch of sea salt or an electrolyte mix containing magnesium, sodium, and potassium. This doesn't just quench thirst, it restores your plasma volume, supports digestion, improves circulation, and primes your muscles to perform and recover throughout the day. And here's the golden rule. Drink your water before your coffee. You'll notice the difference in your energy, clarity, and muscle strength. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for that comforting cup of coffee, ask yourself, have I fueled my muscles with the water they're waiting for? The fourth habit that quietly drains your strength after 60 is starting your morning with sugar instead of protein. It's a mistake many of us make without even realizing it. A piece of toast with jam, a bowl of cereal, maybe a glass of orange juice. These foods feel light, quick, and even healthy. But inside your body, something very different is happening. Take Linda, a 70-year-old grandmother who shared her story with me. Every morning, she started with coffee and a banana, thinking she was making a smart choice. Within an hour, she felt a sudden crash. Her energy dipped. She became irritable. And she needed another snack just to keep going. What she didn't know was that her healthy breakfast was spiking her blood sugar and flooding her body with insulin. And when insulin comes down, it crashes hard, leaving cortisol, the stress hormone, high, and her muscles vulnerable to breakdown. Science confirms this. A 2020 study in diabetes care found that older adults who ate a high-carb, low-protein breakfast had higher levels of inflammation and lower muscle protein synthesis compared to those who anchored their meal with protein. In other words, the body was more likely to store fat and break down muscle instead of building it. And when that happens every single morning, it creates a cycle. Blood sugar spikes, then crashes. You feel tired, you move less, and slowly, your muscles shrink. So how do you break the cycle? The solution is surprisingly simple. Anchor your breakfast around protein first. Aim for at least 25 to 30 grams of quality protein, paired with healthy fats and slow-digesting carbs. For example, scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado, Greek yogurt with chia seeds and berries, or a protein smoothie with whey, flax, and frozen blueberries. These meals fuel your muscles, stabilize blood sugar, and keep you full for hours. On the other hand, it's best to avoid processed cereals, white bread, and fruit juices in the morning. They're quick, yes, but they rob you of energy and silently chip away at your muscle health. So tomorrow, when you ask yourself, what's for breakfast? Remember, it's not just about filling your stomach. It's about sending your body the right message. Stay strong. Build muscle. Protect my future. The fifth morning habit that silently chips away at your strength after 60 is starting your day with stress. Now let me explain. Your body naturally releases cortisol in the morning. It's your built-in wake-up signal, helping you feel alert and ready for the day. That's normal. But here's the problem. When stress levels rise too high or stay elevated too long, cortisol shifts from being helpful to being harmful. Take James, a 66-year-old retired accountant. Every morning, the first thing he did was grab his phone, scroll through the latest headlines, and check his emails. Within minutes, he felt his chest tighten and his thoughts race. He thought he was just staying informed, but what he was really doing was flooding his body with extra cortisol. And over time, that stress hormone began quietly breaking down his muscles, slowing repair, and leaving him more tired throughout the day. Science is clear on this. Chronic cortisol elevation leads to muscle breakdown, reduces regeneration, lowers growth hormone, and even decreases insulin sensitivity. In plain language, It weakens your body's ability to rebuild muscle and use nutrients effectively. You could eat the perfect breakfast and still lose ground if your nervous system is stuck in stress mode. So what can you do instead? The solution doesn't require hours of meditation or fancy equipment. Just 2 to 5 minutes can reset your entire system. Try slow nasal breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6 to 8. Or write down 3 simple things you're grateful for in a small notebook. Even stepping outside, looking at the horizon, and letting natural light hit your eyes can calm your nervous system. These small acts shift your body into parasympathetic mode, the rest and repair state where muscles are preserved and energy is restored. Think about it this way. Emotional stress is still physical stress. Your muscles don't know whether the cortisol comes from running away from danger or from reading a scary headline on your phone before you even get out of bed. The difference is, you have control over one of those situations. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, pause, take a deep breath, give yourself 2 minutes of calm. It might be the most powerful muscle-preserving habit you'll ever create. The 6th morning habit that silently weakens your muscles is missing natural light and vitamin D. It may sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful triggers for your body's daily rhythm. When the morning sun hits your eyes and skin, it does far more than brighten your mood. It actually resets your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. This light exposure helps regulate cortisol so it rises at the right time, while also boosting dopamine, which lifts your motivation, and testosterone, which supports muscle strength, bone density, and even the drive to stay active. And yes, women need testosterone too. It plays a key role in maintaining energy and muscle health at any age. Take Eleanor, a 71-year-old grandmother. For years, she spent her mornings indoors, making breakfast, tidying up, and watching the news. She thought nothing of it. But she noticed her energy was dropping, her bones ached more, and she wasn't as motivated to go on her afternoon walks. Only after her doctor tested her vitamin D levels did she realize she was deficient, like so many adults over 65. That deficiency had quietly drained her muscle strength and raised her risk of falls. Vitamin D isn't just another supplement. It's a hormone-like nutrient your body uses to preserve muscle, protect bones, and maintain balance. But here's the problem. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight. And if we spend mornings behind windows, we block the UVB rays needed for production. No wonder deficiency is so common. So what's the solution? It's surprisingly simple. Within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, step outside for just 5 to 10 minutes. Let natural light touch your eyes and skin. No sunglasses, though of course don't stare directly at the sun. Pair that with gentle movement, like stretching or a short walk, and you'll activate your hormonal, muscular, and neurological systems all at once. And if you live in a place with long winters, cloudy mornings, or you're over 65, consider adding a vitamin D3 supplement, ideally with K2 to support bone health and absorption. Think of it this way. Morning light is nature's free medicine. Missing it costs you energy, strength, and resilience. But taking just a few minutes to step outside could give your body the signal it's waiting for. I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm building strength today. So let's take a step back and connect the dots. You've just seen the 5 most common morning mistakes that quietly steal your strength after 60. 1. Skipping protein at breakfast. 2. Delaying movement. 3. Forgetting to hydrate. 4. Starting with a high-sugar, low-protein breakfast. 5. Beginning the day with stress or missing sunlight and vitamin D. And the good news? Every single one of these mistakes has a fix. Eat protein early, at least 25 to 30 grams within the first hour of waking. Move lightly, Just 5 to 15 minutes to wake up your muscles. Drink water with electrolytes before coffee. Build your breakfast around protein, healthy fats, and slow-digesting carbs. Calm your stress with a few mindful minutes. And step outside for natural light, or supplement with vitamin D if you need to. Here's the big takeaway. Your muscles are more than just strength. They're your body's metabolic engine. They regulate blood sugar, support your immune system, and protect your independence. And the fight to preserve them isn't won in the gym. It's won in the very first hour of your day. So here's my challenge for you. Don't feel like you need to change everything at once. Just pick one tool from today's video and start tomorrow morning. Maybe it's a high-protein breakfast. Maybe it's a short walk after you wake up. Maybe it's simply a glass of water before your coffee. Small shifts can create big changes when practiced consistently. Remember, aging doesn't have to mean losing your strength. It can mean becoming more intentional, more resilient, and more alive than ever before. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly appreciate you being here and taking steps toward a stronger, healthier future. If this video inspired you, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might need it. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 morning mistakes resonated with you the most? Leave a comment below. I read every single one. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss new videos filled with science-backed tips for living stronger, longer, and with more energy. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, start your morning strong and take care of yourself.